Hi guys, I figure out why my dealers were AFKing all day. Basically, if you have a dealer that AFKs and is not moving, it's really simple. If you look at the bottom over here, as you can see, I have one type, two types, three types, four types, and five types of different product. Now here's the issue. If you give this to your dealers, it's not gonna work. Why? Because the jars requires one free spot in order to break it down to a baggie. But because I already have a baggie here, which is also a different type of product, it's not gonna work, and he will not be able to break it down because sometimes clients, they are going to order one sample and not like five, because a jar requires is like five pieces, right? But some clients, they may require to buy one or two or three sample. And because there is no free spot, your dealers will be stuck at their base, at their wherever they are respectively, because they cannot break down the product into a baggie, and because there's already a baggie over here. Now when you're a new player like I was, you are under the impression that it doesn't matter, and like the dealer is gonna find a way to break it down to baggies or to jars, from bricks, and everything's gonna be fine. But it doesn't work like that in this game. Technically you need to have a free spot, so over here, so that if somebody orders like this guy over here, Wedding Punch, so he will be able to break it down into a baggie of Wedding Punch, of course, and he will be able to sell it to whoever calls him. Because if you have another type over here, there's no more free spot, and then your dealer will not be able to sell what the client is calling them from, right? So let's say you do have a free spot. Okay, now you're fine for the jar, the Wedding Punch. What about this one over here, Slimy Cock? I know it's kind of a weird name, but that's the name they give me. So if you put two jars like this, so let's say you only have that, right? If let's say you only have two jars of two different types, you're going to be fine because you have three free spot, right? It's because jars, they only break it down into baggies. So here you need one free spot for this guy, one free spot for this guy, so you have two free spot, meaning you can have a baggie of 20 something. So this could be a third type. But what is recommended if you don't want to have that issue is to have four type of jars. So let's say you have this guy over here, right? So if you have only this, like 1, 2, 3, and 4, you should have four type of the same product, so you should be fine because the last part over here will be breaking down into baggies from the Wedding Punch, right? So this would be the baggie for this guy, and you would have the same product for 4 slot. Then your dealer will be okay. Now what if you have 3 different type of jars? Okay, so this is 3 different type, right? So here you have 2 free spot. This should work, but you need to understand something, because over here, let's say somebody calls and say, I want to have 2 sample of Wedding Punch, so there's going to be a baggie over here for Wedding Punch, and somebody else later says I want 2 sample of Death Fuel, so you're gonna have 2 baggies or 3 baggies or 4 baggies of Death Fuel, right? And then somebody else call, hey, I want to have a sample of Slimy Cock, right? But here's the issue: you will not be able to sell it. Why? Because your slot are already taken for these 2 over here. However, see, this is the big but. If your dealer gets to sell, all the baggies from Wedding Punch or all the baggies from Death Fuel, you're still back down to 2 free slot, meaning that your third Slimy Cock will be sellable. You understand? So it depends how many baggies there are left in their inventory. When they make the sell, because usually they will break it down to 5 baggies. So there's gonna have 5 baggies here of this and 5 baggies of this, right? So if the client calls and say, I just want to have 2 sample of this, there's going to be 3 baggies left, right? Somebody calls and say, I want to have 1 sample of this, there's going to be 4 baggies left, right? It means if the third caller calls and says, hey, I want to have a sample of this, well, you can't. Why? Because these 2 slots are already taken by the baggies of these 2 jars, right? So the client will call, but your dealer will AFK in the base until somebody else call and say, hey man, I want to buy all the samples over here or all the samples over here, so that you have a free slot over here available for the first jar, as you can see over here. So I know it's a little bit complex, guys, but that's the way it works. So 3 different type of jar could work, as long as your dealer gets a call and make sure that the baggies are being sold out, so that you can have a free slot for the first jar. Are you guys following me? So this is good, is viable, but it's not recommended. Like I said, if you want to make sure they don't AFK at all, remove 1 jar, only have 2 types only, and you should be fine. They will never AFK, that's for sure. Make sure you have 20 stack of everything to make as much as possible. Now the other thing that is fine, if you have 5 type of baggies, so if you have 5 type of product, like 20 baggies, 20 baggies of something else, 20 baggies of something else, 20 baggies of something else, and 20 baggies of something else. So if you do that, you're fine. Why? Because the baggies does not break down to something else. It means that you can sell 20 baggies of 5 different type of product, and your dealers will never AFK because they don't have to break it down. They don't need any free slot. So that is fine for the baggies. Now, what about bricks? Okay, bricks is the fun part. All right, bricks. So for those who don't know, bricks is, see, 1 brick over here, that's equal 20. And if you don't believe me, I'll show you right now. If I come over here and I do unpack, remove this, I do this. If I click unpack over here, I have 20. So this is 20 items per brick. So if you make the math, if I have 20 bricks times 20 equals 400. So what it means is that if I have 20 stack of whatever item, whatever product, I will get 400 items of that product, which is why bricks are very convenient end game. So once you reach the part where you have a brick, where you have a what is it, brick press over here, once you get that later end game, late game. So once you have that late game, you will be able to turn it into bricks, which will save a lot of space. And a lot of people say that you make less money. No, you don't make less money. It's all the same type of money. You make the same amount of money. There's only one difference. All right. So this is my suggestion. If you're going to give bricks to your dealer, I suggest that you give 2 types or 1 type only. So this is weed. This is met. So there you have 3 free slot. And the reason I say this is because 1 brick will break it down into jars, and jars going to break it down into baggies. All right, listen carefully. Here, what happens is if you don't want your dealer to AFK at base, you got to make sure you have free slot for bricks. And my suggestion is to at least give 1 type of everything. So if you have 1 type of product, you can give 20 stack of this, same thing 20 stack, same thing 20 stack. And why do I say this? Is because you're gonna have 2 free slot where the brick will be breaking down into jar, and then we'll be breaking down into baggies, so you're safe and you only have 1 type of brick. So if you sell 1 type of brick, you're gonna need 2 free spot, for 1 for jar, 1 for baggies, right? So you're fine. If you have 20 jar of another type, all you need is 1 free spot. So this is good. So this would be one of the best solution at the end if you don't want to have any headaches. So you want to give 1 brick of 1 type and 1 jar of a secondary type, so that you have 1 free spot for the jar and 2 free spot for the brick. So I hope that this explained to you why your dealers are not working and why they're AFK. If this video helps you to understand better, please like and sub. Thanks for watching. Cheers.